Welcome to another video, guys. We're excited to talk about this one today. We're going to be going over Donkey Kong Bananza. We're extremely excited about this one, especially since we just came from Epic Universe, where we went to Super Nintendo World and Donkey Kong, the Donkey Kong area, rode Minecart Madness. We had a great time. So we both finished the game. We've done a little bit of post-game stuff, or I have. We played through the whole game, so we're going to get into talking a bit about it, what our favorite parts, least favorite parts, and then towards the end of the video, we will get to a spoiler section where we're going to talk about the end of the game. So, kicking off the video, let's start with what are your main thoughts about the game, Ross?
Yeah, I mean, we took our time with this game. A lot of you out there have already beaten the game, but there's spoilers everywhere and that kind of thing. And this game has kind of taken the Nintendo Switch 2 by storm. I mean, I think this is truly the game for Nintendo Switch 2. Mario Kart World was the launch game, but Donkey Kong Bananza definitely is the true, I think, like next-gen Nintendo game.
Yeah.
Overall, this game honestly is, I think, one of my favorite Nintendo platformers ever.
Yeah.
I've been waiting for a Donkey Kong 3D game since Donkey Kong 64, and this game did not disappoint. I mean, just the lengths you can go to pretty much play how you want it.
Yeah,
is pretty incredible, just in terms of how you destroy the layers and the ground you're walking on and how you want to defeat enemies, and it's endless.
Yeah.
There's a lot of charm to this game. I mean, just the personality between Pauline and Donkey Kong is a lot of fun, especially when you're sleeping in the clubhouses and you have the dialogue between them. It's really goofy and really fun. But every layer is just insanely different.
Yeah.
And I think that's what made this game so special. I think when the game first started, I was like, man, this is kind of the same old. You're collecting the same bananas, it's the same animatics, like all that kind of stuff. But once you get past the first layer and the first couple setup things, the game really takes off.
Yeah.
And so because of that, I just fell in love with it. And especially as you get closer to the end of the game just completely takes a 360 and just throws a lot of bigger stuff at you. Especially when you start fighting Grumpy, Poppy, and Void. Mm-hmm. And then even just the bosses get a little bit harder.
Yep.
And then the story kind of opens up for the whole mystery of what are they doing? Yep. What is Pauline's role? And so, I don't know, overall this game is just, it's something that I think has replayability.
Absolutely.
And I think with all the different Bananza types, I mean, the snake one threw me for a loop, man.
Yeah.
That one it's just so goofy.
Yeah, that one was very unexpected.
Yeah. But overall, I think the elephant and the, just the normal Kong Bananza is my favorite.
Yeah, I think I'd agree with you. On the Bananzas, my favorite by far is the elephant.
Yeah.
Just the way you're able to destroy terrain with him at such a fast pace is kind of unprecedented. And so I really enjoyed the elephant Bananza. But yeah, the game overall, I think just really does a good job of progressing over the different layers. Like you said, each layer does have some differences, like obviously visually very different, but then the terrain is different in a lot of ways, and it gets stronger, and you have to figure out more creative ways to destroy the layers, the terrain as you progress, and I really like that. And then, like you said, as you collect the different Bananzas, you really see how you can switch between them depending on what you're trying to do. If you need to fly, if you need to run fast, if you need to, destroy a bunch of terrain all at once, or jump really high with the snake Bananza, or slow down time. And so towards the end of the game, you really start to be able to utilize all the different types of Bananzas and their power-ups. And the game really does a good job of challenging you and then changing up some things slightly. I wouldn't say the boss fights are incredibly hard, but they do make you think a little bit. And it's, you have that little learning curve of the first, few seconds of the boss fight. You're like, all right, what do I have to do here to figure this out? And then you go from there. But they did a really good job with changing up the layers, because I definitely see how it could become monotonous after a while. But they did a good enough job of changing some things up so it didn't feel like you're exactly doing the same thing in every layer. And like you said, the theming of each layer is pretty different. So you won't be feeling like you're in the same layer over and over.
Yeah, but I think the game kind of challenges you, just like Super Mario Odyssey. Then it's a very similar setup. Is they kind of drive you oh, I want to get these bananas. I want to collect all of these. I want to. get these the amount of millimeters that knock out these layers. You can kind of see the stats go through. It's kind of a challenging, like, I want to do this to complete the game 100%.
Yeah.
So that's why even after beating the story mode, like, we still want to go back and actually complete everything for sure. But what was your favorite layers? Because there's so many layers that are so unique. What was your favorite out of these?
Yeah. There are lots of fun layers. I'd probably have to say that my favorite layer out of all of them is gonna be the tropical layer, the one with the watermelons, and that introduced the rainbow terrain that helps you fly, or just shoots you straight up. I really enjoyed that. It was light, it felt fun. That one doesn't contain a bonanza or anything, but that one's really fun. The water is nice, and then the fruit, and it was just a more open. Like, I don't think it was one of the bigger layers, but it was more open and had a lot of fun stuff to do. Both running on the rainbow road where it like shoots, and then also going up in the sky. So that one's probably my favorite.
Yeah. I got to that layer, I immediately thought of Mario Sunshine.
Oh, yeah.
It has the same feel to it.
Oh, yeah, with all the fruit.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
My favorite probably is I went back and forth on this, but I think it might be the feast layer.
Oh, yeah.
Just because it's the amusement park, which also kind of reminded me of Super Mario Sunshine.
Yep.
But just there was a lot of cool stuff to do in that layer. Just between the different rides that you were doing.
Absolutely.
It felt like there was a lot more kind of like mini game-esque type things in that layer.
Oh yeah, a lot of them.
And so I think just the charm there was a lot of fun. It was wacky. Honorable mention was probably the Tempest layer, where you get the elephant bonanza.
Yeah.
Just because I think it was like very dark and broody, but it kind of like had this ominous feel of it.
Yeah.
And I think that one was a little more challenging too, especially because it introduced the kind of the gold like terrain that was like that hurts you, like the hot lava.
Yes. Yeah. That layer was tough. Yeah, that layer, although you get the elephant bonanza, that was not one of my favorite layers because it was so like ominous, like you said.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh man, this is a little dark and gloomy. And then like, before you get the elephant bonanza and you can inhale the lava, it's like you gotta be careful, and it's also raining lava in some parts of the layer.
Yeah.
Not like the most inviting layer, but once you get the elephant bonanza and get a hang of it, then it becomes much more fun.
Yeah. So the end of this game, everyone has been talking about it for a while. Nintendo really isn't good at providing background on what they're actually doing here.
No.
But the Pauline of it all, the King K. Rool of it all, we got that huge reveal at the end that King K. Rool is actually trapped at the planet core.
That's right.
With his gremlins, and have the whole power of Pauline, of why they wanted that, because her ability to sing is super powerful.
Mm-hmm.
So what did you think of that reveal? Do you think that Nintendo will continue the King K. Rool stuff down the road? Do you think they're going to give more backstory to why they were trapped, Pauline, all that kind of stuff?
Yeah, man, I love that Nintendo included King K. Rool. I love that was a part of the game, and I do think that he is going to be in future titles, at least the 3D ones, and he's going to continue to be the main bad guy.
Yeah.
I don't know that Nintendo's forte is going to be continuing the storytelling between Pauline and King K. Rool. I do love that we got to see Pauline get her wish and went back to the surface, and of course we're in New Donk City. I think everyone saw that coming. If like you knew anything about Odyssey or whatever, you knew Pauline's home was going to be New Donk City, and so that was really cool to see. And that was really fun. I hope that we get either some sort of collab or some further like info on the direct storyline, because right now it obviously doesn't make sense. This game came out a lot later than Super Mario Odyssey, but we're clearly Pauline's much younger. So, but I don't know that Nintendo is going to be like, hey, this is the complete storyline, we're going to include it in the next game. I think they think game to game. And they're just going to roll with that.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. Nintendo's track record is not to explain full storylines. But I think we can all kind of just hopefully wish that like they connect Mario and Donkey Kong in this world. I mean, clearly, if we're going off of our own timeline, this has to be before Odyssey, right? Because like Pauline's young, and she now has the confidence to sing, and so she's going to become the mayor of New Donk. And that kind of thing. But I don't know, it's just very fascinating, the whole like Kremlins are trapped in the planet core, like who trapped them, how did they get there? I even was questioning, like, did Donkey Kong even know who King K. Rool was at this point? Was that the first time he met him? Because you had a lot of Donkey Kong Country references of like the past of like doing these things, so he would have had to know who he was. So it's like, did Donkey Kong trap him there? And we just didn't know. So it was an interesting thing. We kind of debated back and forth. We were talking like, should they have given Donkey Kong voice?
Yeah.
Kind of a voice and like speaking parts and that kind of thing. I truly think that kind of having him stay just monkey-fied was good.
Yeah, I think it's good.
Because you had Pauline kind of carrying that narrative.
Yeah.
But overall, I think that we're just going to probably just get another game, and it's probably going to be in the same style, but it's just going to kind of, just like Mario 3D platforms do.
Yeah.
We're just probably going to get more Donkey Kong ones like that.
Yeah, I hope so, because this game really was fun. I know we're talking a lot about it, but the gameplay itself, super fun. Donkey Kong moves really well, and I've seen some videos online about people doing even crazier jumps than I was able to do in the game. But he moves really quickly, moves really well, is able to destroy the terrain. That's always a fun part. And then when you get a hold of all the bonanzas, you really have the freedom to do kind of anything. You can traverse all of the layers very well. So I definitely think that they're going to be thinking about another game at some point in this world, or a direct sequel or something, because I think this game is a big hit.
Yeah, agreed. So, I mean, overall, do you think it's as good as everybody is saying, or do you think it's just kind of that initial hype that people are? Do you think it will last? Do you think people will retain their love for this game?
That's a good point. I don't know that it's gonna hit as hard as something on the Switch, the original Switch, say like Breath of the Wild, or to me, Super Mario Odyssey. Like, I think this game is just a step below those. As far as big impact, but I do think, especially for what we have on the Switch 2 right now, like this game is a must-buy. I think when the holidays roll around this year, this is going to be like, if you're getting a Switch 2, get Donkey Kong Bonanza. That's going to be your best single-player game. People still grab Mario Kart for the multiplayer stuff, but I think this game is going to hold up very well, and I think over the course of the Switch 2, it's going to be like, this is your big-time Donkey Kong game, and I think it's going to be a while before we get another 2D Donkey Kong. So if you want any kind of Donkey Kong fix, it's going to be it for a while, and it'll keep you busy. I think I put over 50 hours in. Just kind of, I took my time, like you said. I collected a lot of the fossils and the bananas, and there's a lot to do in each world, and I kind of took my time with that. And so there's plenty of game to play, and like you said, there's definitely some replayability.
Yeah, my hope is because Donkey Kong hasn't been getting a lot of love game-wise for a long time, and they're kind of rehashing old ones. So I'm hoping that this game kind of revitalizes that Donkey Kong franchise, and they start making more and more 3D Donkey Kong games, just like they were doing Mario. And then obviously we're excited to see what Mario 3D games are getting, moving forward. So I think it's bright. The future's bright for Donkey Kong. Absolutely. We'd love to know what you think. Let us know what your favorite layer was, what your favorite Bonanza was. We'd love to talk about it in the comments. And for now, thanks. This is Phantom Fix. We'll see you in the next one. Bonanza!